Hi there, it's Gaz from the blog generator. Okay, we asked a question about how readable some of the articles will be in here after they've been spun. So as we know with the articles after they've been automatically spun, there can be a lot of garbage basically in there. So we've got an option in here that we can use that should hopefully make them a lot more readable and hopefully make them more readable sort of in your words as well, using your sort of your words. So the option we're going to use, we're going to go through on here. It's the basic auto spin option. Now, obviously, if we want to put spin syntax into here, the manual form of putting spin syntax in, I would have said would probably be the most readable rather than doing an auto spin. But I think what we can do here, we can come to probably quite a good middle ground on this. So, for example, if we took sort of the word report, sorry, I've got an article. I've just done a quick search for a news item on blogging tips, and we've come back with an article on here with 4 ways to build rapport with your blog readers. So I've chose the word rapport, and let's say if I pick sort of a couple of synonyms to go with that. So if we sort of go with maybe trust, and I think probably understanding is probably another one that will go with that. And if we use that in as our spin syntax, then it would come out as a pretty decent. That would be whatever word it used would come out as a decent spin. So the other option we've got, let's just reset the text on there. The other option we've got is that we're going to go through as a basic auto spin. So the basic auto spin actually uses a file. And the file is called synonym.txt, and it's in the install directory of the blog generator. Now, as you can see in there, we've got it's basically just a list of common synonyms, and it goes through and it does a basic spin using these synonyms. So, but what we can do is we can add, or we can just create our own synonyms to actually use in the blog generator. So let's say, for example, let's say we delete these. And we put ours back in there. So if we put rapport back in there, and we'll just separate these just as it would be for a manual spin, separate it with a pipe. So if we put rapport and we put trust, and again if we put understanding in there, and we'll save that file so it'll be picked up, and we'll just move that out of the way. So now if we actually add some spin syntax and we use a basic spin option, it's going to take the file and it's going to use that to create the spin syntax. So it has found, obviously, it's found rapport, and it's actually put in the spin syntax in there, just as we specified in there. Now, obviously, if you had your own synonym list, if you wanted to create your own synonym list, so obviously the first time you do it, it will take a little bit of work, but once it's there and it's running, you'll just use it every time. So once it's up and running, you will have your own really good synonym list for doing auto spinning. You should get a lot more readable articles. Obviously, if you wanted to see what these articles look like after they're spun, you would obviously use the example spins and view them as plain text or as a web page just to see what it looked like for an example spin. Yeah, and obviously if you're posting this out to multiple blogs, it'll do a unique spin for each one every time, but it'll give you a good example of how it could possibly look. The only other thing I will say is if you are using the syn file from the syn.txt file from the application install directory, is I would make a backup copy of it and put it in somewhere else, put it like in my documents or something like that. Firstly, if you don't format the synonyms correctly, obviously it can cause a program in the application, so you want a backup copy just to be on the safe side so you can revert back to. Also, if you did have to put an update to the application in, because it's in the application directory, it's very possible it will actually be overwritten because the synonym file, the syn.txt file, is actually delivered with the application. So just a bit of a word of warning, probably worth backing it up basically. Okay, I hope that answers the question on that. Any other questions, give me a shout and I'll put something together to show you what it is. Thanks very much, and I'll talk to you again soon. Thanks, bye.